when belief systems are kind of far-fetched and they all are hinging upon what you want to hear, what you want to hear in your life, and this it could lead, to some pretty. See, it's because what it goes hand in hand with is when we don't want to take responsibility for our lives, and we prefer to be told what to do, because we're afraid of making mistakes or whatever, and that shows you we're not taught the value of mistakes, that they can be transformed into teaching experiences when we learn from them and make the most of them. So, instead, we look for answers outside of ourselves. We don't want to face our inner world, and I kind of discussed that already at the beginning of the show. And this leads to unhealthy living, because it is looking the wrong direction. Yeah, it's looking out there when all we have to do is look within us. And when people don't want to look within themselves because maybe there's something too painful there, then they look for something outside of themselves to answer whatever's bothering them, and or whatever questions they have. They look for answers outside of themselves, and that's going to they're going to look for that which makes them feel good, and that which makes you feel good may not be good for you. Yeah. So so they get these, find these belief systems that seem to answer the questions that they have in their lives. I mean, we all want answers, yeah. But most of us, we want to be told what the answers are, and we don't want to go within ourselves, because really the answers are within you, and we don't want to go in there because that's going to result in us facing things from our past that we maybe are scared of, which is okay, but at the same time, eventually we are going to have to face them. And but like I said earlier, making the best of your difficulties is leads to blessing. It might be painful at first, but it will lead to blessing. So most people don't want to do that, though. Yeah, they want to, they have this fear, and they want something to calm that fear. And one of the greatest human fears is the fear of death, and this is a lot of beliefs, churches and religions. They're going to take advantage of that and tell you something to make you feel good, so you won't be scared. And so they'll come up with all kinds of things that will make it so that we can be reassured. This is a problem because See, Lakota Star Knowledge teaches that the most important moment is the present moment, the here and now. Yeah, this is the most important moment, and that how we think now, if we have peace in our lives and are striving to maintain that, and we've come to peace with our past and we're learning from our difficulties, we're investing in a healthy future. And that future is not here yet. So we shouldn't be worrying about it too much. We should be more concerned about what's happening right in front of us right now. And this needs to be taken care of first. And when you're doing that, you're actually living. And and when you're doing this in a healthy way, you're investing in your future. It doesn't matter if there's a heaven or a hell. That's not what's important. What's important is right now. When we're in the here and now and we come to peace with our past and we know the value of difficulties, that it can bring us blessings and knowledge and wisdom and peace once we learn from it and make the most of it. We're not afraid of things so much. Yeah, that we know maybe something will make us feel scared, but we know the process. We know that we can come to peace with it. We know that we can make the most of it, that we can learn from it, that we can transform it into a blessing. We know this when we live a healthy life. So we're more concerned about right now, what the people that are in your life right now, your own life, your everybody that's with you right now. This is the most important because they're here now. You can go and hug them, tell them that you love them, no matter what, because the present moment is the most important. They are here now. Make the most of that, because you're going to regret it once they're gone. Yeah? So it doesn't matter what's coming after. What matters is right now. This is the most important moment right now. So when we focus on this, then our fears of death slowly subside, because we learn that the present moment is the most important moment to be. This is very important. Yeah, but other religions don't want you to feel that way. They want you to be not concerned about that. This way they keep you away from yourself, and they keep you away from the present moment. Now what this Arthur Findlay College group does is this is a spiritualist organization. Now, spiritualism is not the same as spirituality. Okay, spiritualism is a dualistic church that does believe in good versus evil. And they do believe that when a person dies, they believe that there are different realms in the afterlife, and that after you die, you can still see the people that you've left behind, but that are still alive. But the more you progress in the afterlife, whether it's an afterlife school of knowledge or whatever, that the more you progress in there, the further away you are from the people that are still alive. So the more you develop in the afterlife, the further away you go from the people who are still on the earth. So their belief is that there are Indian men, male spirits, that these are North American Indian men, yeah, Plains Indian men, people who lived in the Great Plains area of America, that allegedly all these men are not progressing. They don't want to progress on their journey. They're staying behind, and what they're doing is they're helping people who are not Indian. When they die, they deliver messages from them to their relatives who are still alive. Why is it that it's just Indian men? How come not Indian women? Why not Indian old people? How come not them? Why does it always have to be Indian men? And why Indians in the first place? So this is their religion, and then they go to this school, this Arthur Findlay College, and then it's outside of London, in a place called Stansted. And they pay enormous amounts of money to learn how to be a psychic medium, to be able to talk with these Indian spirits, to give help and hope to the relatives they left behind. But why do you think they do this? Because they can charge money for it. You see what I mean? It's all about making money. It's not about helping people. It's about making money. And all they're learning is techniques to trick people. It's all they're learning. I know that because I've been there. I did a seminar there on Lakota spirituality, and I found out the shenanigans that they were up to. And once I discovered what they were doing, what they were really doing, they asked me not to come back because I would give it away. Yeah, I exposed them that they're frauds. So, so they all have these Indian spirit guides, yeah. And then there's a lady there that teaches a lot of these courses, and she allegedly goes into meditation and goes within the person's soul to see their past life, that their past life was as an Indian, and then find out what that person's Indian name was in the past life. And then you do this, you pay her £50, which is probably about 80 some US dollars, which is probably about 65 euro. Yeah, you pay her that amount of money, and she'll give you your Indian name. And when I was there, they wanted me to translate those names into Lakota, and these are some of the most ridiculous names I ever heard in my life. These names, they always have two nouns. Yeah, two nouns, and they're like for example, one lady, her name was Dolphin Eye Under Sky. That was her Indian name. Now, I've never seen dolphins on the reservation. Yeah. Not even when I was doing chemical substances. Even under those experiences, I never seen dolphins. But this is what they do there, and they have a seminar called Indian Week that they do one week every summer, and in this week they dress up as what they think Indians should look like, and it's some of the most ridiculous things you've ever seen in your life, and they are serious about this, 100% serious. Yeah, there was a young lady there that. She went to like 30 different mediums. You see, she was separated from her brother when they were little kids and they were adopted out. So she was looking for her brother. So she went to like about 30 different psychic mediums from different parts of England. And every lead they gave her turned up false. Then finally she ran into one medium. And the lady said she could tell her where her brother is, so she paid all these psychic mediums money to do this, by the way. Yeah. So here, this one said your brother's dead, and she produced the results, told her where to go and everything. And so she went and checked it out. Sure enough, he was dead. She found his grave. So why is it that 30-some psychic mediums couldn't do that, and yet one did? Did that make this one a real one? No, that was fake too. You know what that last one did? The last one got on Google and found out all the information through the internet. And then she just gave it to her and said, just go here. This lady could have did this the whole damn time and would have saved herself several $1,000. You see what I mean? People don't want to trust themselves. They'll place total trust in total strangers and give them thousands of dollars to cure them, to heal them. And when it doesn't happen, they have such low self-esteem that they blame themselves. They will say, I must not have did it right, so I'll pay them again. See, these fakes know that your low self-esteem people do this. This is how they make their money. Yeah? This is what spiritualism is. It's all a load of crap. And the people who are good at it, they know how to do their research. Yeah, and they also know how to read people. Like there's something called cold reading, where you ask certain questions that don't even have to be related to the topic, but based on those results and how people are reacting and responding, you can get a lot of information from somebody like that. You'd have no clue what's happening. And then they tell you things, and then you think, oh, they got everything right. Well, yeah, of course, you just told it to them. You told it in a covert way, and they figured it out. You see what I mean? That's what they learn how to do at the school, is trick people. Now, I wanted to attend one of their seance sessions and witness these things. They chickened out because they have pictures of them from the early 1900s. And I realized that the pictures from the early 1900s are all fake. They're early 20th century Photoshop kind of tricks that they did with the camera. That they allegedly see the faces of people who have died, but when you look at these, they look like they're taken from photos, and they're all like sitting a certain direction. Like you're getting a certain what do you call it? The view, yeah. What do you call that? So when you get the side of a person's face, I forgot what that's called. But it's like these are all coming from pictures, from other pictures. They're all posing too, yeah. So that's telling me that this is fake, and so I wanted to see this for real, and they chicken out on me. They say, "Oh no, we don't do it like that anymore." And so you guys did that back in the 1950s. Why can't you do it like that now? Make me a believer. They all chickened out because they knew I was up to their game. Yeah, I figured them out. So this is it is a dualistic religion. Yeah, it is. They tell people what they want to hear, and they focus on your fear of death. And they do these. It's really a show. Yeah, it's really funny in my opinion, but people believe it. They think it's really real. And it's not. I know this 100%. Yeah, and that's spiritualism. It was fake to begin with. And the stories that I hear, I can prove every one of them wrong, because I see where the mistake is. Yeah, and then there's some that say, yeah, that their Indian guide is a Lakota person. And then I want to say, whenever I hear that, I say, I'd like to speak to your guide. I want to speak Lakota to your Indian guide. And they get really nervous, yeah, because they know I'm going to expose them. They know, that why would a Indian from the 1700s speak English with a British accent even? See, there's two ways I can prove they're wrong, and it involves the Lakota language. Yeah, so there's two ways I can do it, and I put everyone to the test, and they always back down. They always chicken out. Nobody accepts my challenge because they know I'm going to disprove them. Yeah, this is telling me spiritualism is a crock of shit. That is our sermon for today. It's always looking out there when really it's inside of you. Yeah, they're looking the other direction. They're keeping away from themselves, and that's counterproductive. Yeah, that's leading a person to become more dualistic, to become more addictive in their living, because they're always trying to only feel one emotion and then trapping that emotion and thought. That leads to addiction, and that addictive process shows up in other areas of their life. And then they take things and eat things to stay in that emotion. The next thing you know, they become chemically addicted to this and that, and substance addiction comes into the picture, and this is the image they're presenting is, you can feel it. It's not really happiness. That's addiction. And it is very, very, very misleading, and it's taking them deep, deep away from themselves. Yeah, this is not the way. That's walking backwards. Yeah, that's de-evolving, actually. So anyway, I'll let you think about that and leave that with you. And like I said, based on Lakota Star knowledge, this idea of spiritualism is total nonsense, because it's dualistic and it takes you away from yourself and it keeps you in a fear. Yeah, it hones in on your fear, and that's not what living is about.